And from the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh, it is a non-conference matchup on this Monday night with the Huskies of Northern Illinois facing the Pitt Panthers for the very first time. Hi everyone, Steve Schlanger alongside David Padgett. We have a matchup of two teams with a lot of similarities. They both plant their flag on defense. They both rebound very well. But David, when they need some offense, who are the guys they're going to be looking to here tonight?
Well, for Pittsburgh, it's their dynamic young sophomore, Xavier Johnson. One of the better players in the league last year as a freshman, and got off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but has really played well as of late. And on the other end of the court for Northern Illinois, one of the most exciting players in the country that a lot of people probably haven't heard about. Eugene German on track to eclipse the 2,000-point mark for his career and can really score as soon as he crosses half court. So it should be a great matchup between these two guards tonight.
Pitt coming out in the white, Northern Illinois the black. Our three-person officiating crew, Mike Eads, Terry Weimer, and Ron Tyberski. Neither team has played in over a week. They've taken some time off for finals, so an interesting time to get back on the court in a competitive setting just a few weeks prior to the start of conference play. How do you think the layoff's going to affect these teams, David?
Well, you got to think these guys are chomping at the bit to be playing against somebody else for a change. You know, when you have that kind of layoff, you get tired of practicing against one another, and you just want to get out on the court and compete against somebody else. So expect a little bit of rust early to shake that off, but once they get in the flow of the game, I expect them to get right back to what they do.
Noah McCarty with an open look for three, and a foul on the rebound.
And that's going to be a concern for Coach Capel tonight. Northern Illinois, one of the better rebounding teams in the country, out-rebounding their opponents by almost 8 per game. And it starts with McCarty and James down low. And Pittsburgh's going to have to do a good job tonight keeping them off the offensive backboard.
Jeff Capel in his second season as the head coach here at Pitt. Northern Illinois already has had a couple of cracks at it on offense, but this time it's a foul against the Huskies, their first.
And turnovers are going to be something to keep an eye on tonight. Both these teams have struggled early in the season with turning the ball over. Both teams have a negative assist-turnover ratio, and that's going to be a key for which team can take care of the ball and limit their mistakes.
Pitt on offense for the first time in the first of a 4-game homestand. Last time out for Pitt was at #1 Louisville 10 days ago. They lost by 18 points, and they did not shoot the ball well.
And that's been one of their weaknesses so far this year, is they have not shot the ball well from the perimeter. They've done a great job of getting through the lane and getting to the rim. And against Louisville, that score wasn't quite as indicative of how close the game was. But nonetheless, they're anxious to get back at it tonight. And that guy right there, Ryan Murphy, is the guy that really got to keep an eye on to look to get going.
Several misses for each team early. Trendon Hankerson, the most recent miss for the Huskies, and now Pitt running the floor. 3-on-2, Ryan Murphy pulling up, and they'll settle into the half-court look.
And not the cleanest start, which you would expect when both teams have had a combined 17 days off since their last game, but look for them to shake that rust off early.
Pitt in the middle of a stretch where they're only playing 2 games in 23 days. As this one is out of bounds with 9 on the shot clock, and our first substitution of the game coming less than 2 minutes in. As Trendon Hankerson will exit for Northern Illinois, and Zaire Mateen, the junior from Queens, checks in for the first time. Justin Champagny. Rebound to Eric Hamilton. Shot clock resetting to 20 on the offensive board.
And that's an adjustment teams have had to make this year and throughout college, is when you get that ball and you bring it back out after an offensive rebound, you can't look to set up and run a big play. You've only got 20 seconds and it goes by quickly.
Eugene German sprinting through the open floor, and that's going to be a goaltend for our first points of the night.
And like I said in the opening, there's a lot of people in the country who probably haven't heard the name Eugene German before, but this kid can flat play. To be able to surpass the 2,000-point mark in college these days is almost unheard of, but he can score in a variety of ways, and really reminds me of a kid that used to play at Louisville, who a lot of people probably remember the name, Russ Smith. Can really score from anywhere on the court, can take some shots that'll drive you crazy, but can also make some shots that'll drive you crazy. So can really put the ball in the basket, and Pittsburgh's going to have to do a number on him tonight.
Pitt has to worry about their own offense right now. They are 0 for 5 from the field, and that's an offensive foul against the Huskies. With Pitt set to make their first substitution as Trey McGowens, the sophomore from Pendleton, South Carolina, is coming in, and Ryan Murphy heads to the bench.
Trey McGowens, one of the better defenders in the ACC, top steal guy in the ACC. And look for him to be matched up on German early in this game.
2.5 gone by, and just a 2-0 lead for the visitors here. Pitt looking to get on the board on their home floor, off the basket and in. So a 3-point opportunity coming up.
And that's where Pitt is at their best, especially Xavier Johnson. Really gets in the lane, gets to the free throw line, puts pressure on the defense. And in their last time out at Louisville, they only shot 6 free throws for the entire game. And when they haven't gotten to the free throw line this year, they've struggled. And Xavier Johnson not settling early for the jump shot. It's a good sign for Pitt.
He had 15 points in a loss at Louisville, a sophomore from Woodbridge, Virginia. Leading his team in points, assists, even 3-point percentage at 41% from downtown at this point in the season. Even though Ryan Murphy is really their best 3-point shooter, he just hasn't shot the ball well from beyond the arc lately.
And in talking to Coach Capel today at shoot-around, they were not disappointed, but in the Louisville game, Ryan Murphy had about 4 or 5 open looks that he turned down. And those are the shots that they need him to take, because he is by far their best 3-point shooter. And when you get open looks like that, you just can't pass them up.
He also said something about when you don't see the ball going through the hoop, it sort of plays with your mind psychologically.
Oh, it does. There's no question. You lose confidence. You get a little more hesitant to shoot it. But when you're a great shooter, you can't have a conscience. If you miss 20 in a row, you got to know you're making the 21st.
Turnover by the Huskies, and the ball belonging to the Panthers. Northern Illinois in the middle of a 3-game road trip. And they've lost 2 in a row. Right before their break for finals, they went on a swing of Northern California and dropped games to St. Mary's and UC Davis as McGowens leaps, banks, and hits.
And Pittsburgh doing a good job early of getting in the lane, you know, not settling for those jump shots. Northern Illinois kind of playing off of them a little bit, daring them to shoot the ball, and they're not settling. They're doing a good job of getting in the lane and trying to attack the rim.
After the slow start, Pitt now on top by 3. Coming up on 4 minutes deep, first half here in Pittsburgh.
Gotta have your hands up. And low shot clock, you know where it's going. That time he gives it up.
Shot clock at 5, and the deep 3 goes down. That's Zaire Mateen coming off the bench, the junior from Queens, and JUCO transfer, who spent 1 year in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
In Northern Illinois, a team that has relied heavily on the 3 this year, shooting almost 36% as a team from deep, and have had games this year where they've made 11, 12 threes in a game. So certainly capable of shooting it from the
Oklahoma and VCU. And now also bringing his brother into the fold. David, coaching alongside him here at Pitt.
Still trying to figure out how the family handled it when one played at Duke and then the other one followed right in his footsteps and went right down the road to North Carolina. But nonetheless, 2 unbelievable guys, 2 great basketball coaches, and I know how much they're enjoying working with each other here at Pitt.
Jason is an assistant. Of course, he went to UNC. Jeff down Tobacco Road at Duke. They never did play against one another in college in ACC action, but Jeff began his coaching career as an assistant to his father at Old Dominion. So more family ties for the Capel clan.
Not exactly a scorching electric offensive start to this one. Both teams shooting under 35% so far, but you'd expect that. Both these teams very good defensively, very tough. Try to be physical on the defensive end of the floor and not give anybody anything easy.
5-5 score, just shy of 5 minutes into our first half. Northern Illinois already with 14 fouls as well. Shot clock at 6. There's their leading scorer, German. Can hit it from downtown, and he has to launch one, and he buries it.
And you say, what can you do defensively about that? The answer is nothing. You know, the shot clock's winding down. If you get any closer to him, you're going to foul him. And that's just a great offensive play by Eugene German, and that's why he's on the verge of scoring 2,000 points.
Meantime, Trey McGowens gets 2 of those back for Pitt. And it's a 1-point lead for the visitors here. Jeff Capel said that as far as Eugene German, they know that he's going to get his points. He said he was actually scared of what he can do. They just have to mitigate the damage.
Well, and you see right there, you know, even though they didn't hit that shot, he made a great pass to his teammate in the corner because he saw that he was being double teamed. So it's not like he's unwilling to pass the ball. He draws so much attention that you have to pay attention to him, and it leaves other guys open.
And McGowens, the most emphatic play so far here in the opening half as he slams it down. And Pitt back in front with 14 minutes to go first half.
And 3 early turnovers by the Huskies, which is going to prove to be pivotal in this game. And the 4th one right there if they don't take care of the ball. Because here's what it leads to. Easy baskets on the other end.
With numbers, but the block from behind. Justin Lee coming back from an injury. Critical defensive play. German misses the long 3. And the Huskies can't keep it alive.
And you see it's end of the shot clock here. Nice quick step back move. Justin Champagny, not bad defense. Just got to give credit to the offense sometimes. And a great bounce pass on the break and great finish there by Pitt.
Now McGowens doing it all offensively for the Panthers right now. He's 3 of 3 from the field. The rest of the team just 1 for 11. So he's the reason why the Panthers have this 1-point lead with 13:39 left to go in the first stanza.
And easy to get in the flow of the game when you get a couple easy ones out on the break-off turnovers. Obviously a dunk, the highest percentage shot there is in basketball. But this is the guy right here. Be curious to see. Today it was interesting. Their shoot-around started at 2 o'clock, and he was out there at 1:15 with one of the assistant coaches getting extra shots up.
Turnover by the Panthers. Just their first. Darius Bean coming up short. Xavier Johnson all the way to the rack, finding a seam and scoring for the Panthers to stretch this lead now to 3 points with 13 minutes to go. Pitt on a 6-0 run here at home.
And earlier in the year, talking to Coach Capel today, I asked him, I said, why do you think Xavier got off to such a slow start? And he said he just was putting too much pressure on himself. You know, he saw some success at the end of last year and was really putting pressure on himself to lead this team. And he's calmed down, he's relaxed, and he's just playing now. And you can see it's becoming effortless to him.
That's Trenton Hankerson, the sophomore from Michigan for Northern Illinois. He's their top 3-point shooter, and their head coach, Mark Montgomery, says that he's got to make some long shots from distance tonight for this Husky team to really have a chance on the road. McGowens with the missed 3, and Hankerson this time with the rebound.
Hankerson shooting 57% from deep early in the year. Again, another
lazy pass.
And Coach Montgomery obviously is going to address this in the next time out. Just not happy with the turnovers. And the worst part about them is they're live ball turnovers. There's no defense able to get back. Just leading to easy baskets for Pitt on the break. Pitt doing a very good job of being active early in the game with their hands, shooting the passing lanes. But these are you just can't have these turnovers on the road and expect to win. And Pittsburgh doing a great job of pushing it down the court and capitalizing on the other end with a chance for a 3-point play. Audis
Toney, the sophomore from Huntsville, Alabama. Guy who can play multiple positions, long, athletic, very versatile. Got off to a slow start this season, but starting to come on. Had 7 rebounds in the loss of Louisville recently, and now trying to complete the 3-point play here. So the lead remains at 3, 8 minutes deep, first half. This is Tyler Cochran coming in off the bench for the Huskies. Huskies really struggling from the field inside of Eugene German here now in this first half, and especially the last few times down floor.
And Pitt doing a good job early with German. Obviously, he's the focal point of the scouting report, but they've known where he is at the one at the end of the shot clock. But other than that, they've done a pretty good job on him so far.
Shot clock in single digits. Justin Champagny on the miss. Cochran lost the handle. McGowens waited for some support.
Good decision there by Pitt to bring it out. Didn't really have a clear advantage. Good hustle by McGowens to create an extra possession.
David, what's the primary narrative that has developed so far in this first half for you?
Well, I think just the turnovers for Northern Illinois. They've taken possessions away from themselves, and for Pitt, they're doing a good job of not settling for the jump shot. You know, they're really focal point of getting in the lane, trying to get to the rim, and it's paid off for them.
Murphy gets fouled, but just shy of 11 minutes left to go, and Pitt up by 3.
Trey McGowens, when you're struggling on the offensive end of the court, what do you need to do? You need to create offense off of your defense. Coming out hot early with a tough runner, pull-up jump shot, and a great finish over traffic in transition. Trey McGowens giving his big team a big boost off the bench.
And along with Xavier Johnson, they are handling the load offensively. The rest of the team just 2 points so far. Northern Illinois really struggling turning the ball over. And Pitt with 7 points off those turnovers. Really taking advantage of the miscues by this Husky team.
Well, and the problem with their 6 turnovers, besides the fact that they don't get a shot each time, is their live ball turnovers. So there's no floor balance. Pitt has been able to get out on the break. At least, you never want to turn the ball over, but at least if it's a dead ball turnover, you have a chance to set your defense. But Northern Illinois just shooting themselves in the foot early in this game.
Almost another turnover. Saved in. There's Nathan Scott, and he's going to be fouled by McGowens. That's one of the issues Mark Montgomery mentioned during the course of practice last night, that when you go on the road, there are certain fundamentals, certain staples you have to adhere to, and one of those is not turning it over, because if you turn it over on the road, it's such an uphill battle to stay competitive.
It is, and there's 3 things you have to do to win on the road, no matter who you're playing or where you're playing. You got to defend, you got to rebound, and you got to take care of the basketball. It's as simple as that. And right now, they're doing a good job in 2 of the 3 areas, but they're just really killing themselves with these turnovers.
Midway through our first half, Pitt with just their 2nd turnover of this first half. German, what a no-look pass right at the last second. And the finish by Nathan Scott. So despite the Huskies' troubles here on the road at Pittsburgh, they're still just down by a point with 9.5 to go in the first half, and we're going to have a jump ball.
And Northern Illinois creating a little bit of offense off of their defense. Great pass by Eugene German. Could have forced it over the taller defender, but great little drop-off bounce pass and the easy finish.
Eugene German had a team-high 16 points at both UC Davis and at St. Mary's in their 2-game West Coast road trip in Northern California recently. 5 on the shot clock. Hamilton off a foot and out of bounds, and that's the 3rd turnover now for the Panthers. So back-to-back turnovers for Pitt after a pretty clean first half of this opening 20 minutes.
And neither of these teams is willing to give up much on the defensive end of the court. Both are really physical, really jump out on ball screens, especially on German. But you see, Pitt's done a good job early of making Northern Illinois run their offense way out beyond the 3-point line. Haven't allowed much to get in the lane, even right there. Good defense makes them take a tough challenge shot to give up an offensive rebound.
And now the baseline jumper also pops out for Fergus Dow, but a 3rd opportunity on the offensive end for this Husky team. Tyler Cochran double-teamed. Nathan Scott staring down a 3, and he plants it.
And Pittsburgh just playing with fire right there. He did a great job the first time. Made him take a tough challenge 2-point jump shot, but gave up 2 consecutive offensive rebounds. And teams at this level are just too good. They're going to make you pay for that if you give them 3 looks at it.
Scott, the junior from Naperville, Illinois. Xavier Johnson stares down a 3 of his own. And Scott, one of the top rebounders on this team, he yanks it off the glass. German on the pull-up. Eugene German leading the MAC conference in scoring and extending this Northern Illinois run, now up by.
Corner 3, and Eugene German, when he's at his best, transition coming down, quick little pull-up jump shot from the elbow, forces Coach Cable to use a timeout.
German leading all scores so far tonight with 7 points. He is 4th in school history in career points for Northern Illinois, approaching 2,000 for his career, and he's also 8th nationally among active scores in total points.
And not a good foul there by Northern Illinois coming out of that timeout. Off the ball, not really impacted on the play. And problem now is Pittsburgh's in the bonus early with 8 minutes to go in the first half, and this is where they've thrived all year, is getting to the free throw line.
Pitt shot just under 70% from the line in a loss at Louisville recently. Xavier Johnson coming up well short on the front end there. And Pitt now scoreless over the last 4 minutes here in this first half with 8 to go.
And give Northern Illinois credit. They've been taking care of the ball. Simple as that. They've gotten good looks at the rim. They've offensive rebounded, and it's allowed them to get back into this game and take the lead.
German way downtown. Trying to create his own shot. He can hit it from the logo, but not that last time. To the trailer, Tony, and Scott clears the glass.
Good job by Pittsburgh there in transition, meeting German early, not giving him anything easy. You know, you hear sometimes you hear coaches say he's one of those guys you have to pick up when he crosses half court. He literally is one of those guys you have to pick up when he crosses half court. Today in shoot around, he was shooting with his feet on the blue in the logo. It was pretty impressive to watch.
There is Lacey James underneath, the leading rebounder on this team. Also second in scoring, averaging 8 per contest. And now the Huskies on a 9-0 run. They've extended the lead to 6 points with 7 minutes to go first half.
And Northern Illinois is a team that, you know, these guys have played a lot of basketball together. They start 3 seniors and a junior. They're experienced. They're not afraid of these big moments. And, you know, they didn't get off to a great start, but they stayed composed and have gotten themselves right back into this basketball game.
Nathan Scott in that last block, the leading shot blocker on this team. But with the foul, that will send Pitt to the line. And Terrell Brown, a junior from Providence, Rhode Island. Continuing the scoring woes for the home team. Well, Wednesday night, 2 of the top 10 squads in the nation will be in our college basketball doubleheader. Number 9 Virginia takes on Stony Brook at 7 Eastern. Then it's number 3 Louisville hosting Miami of Ohio. And both games right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. So Brown gets 1 of 2, and the lead is 5 for the Huskies. Darius Bean, double teamed, finds Noah McCarty, and then Tyler Cochran back irons a 3, and a foul against the Huskies on the rebound.
And a good look there from Northern Illinois. Good skip pass by Noah McCarty, but the danger zone, and it'd be interesting to see if Pittsburgh can make him pay from this, is, you know, every foul for the next 6.5 minutes, Pittsburgh's going to be shooting free throws. So if you're Northern Illinois, you don't want to give him anything easy and put him to the free throw line. You got to make him earn it in the half court.
Pitt just 2 of 5 from the stripe so far. And Xavier Johnson now back at the free throw line. He is 1 of 2 so far on the night. Just 5 points so far in this first half, and again averaging 12 per game for the season. Johnson last year set a Pitt record for freshman scoring for the Panthers, and all ACC freshman team selection. Such an explosive, active player. Led the ACC in free throws made a year ago as well. And now 2 of 3 from the line so far in this first half as the Panthers close to within 3. Here with 6.5 to go. Jurgis Dow had it stripped. 7 turnovers now on Northern Illinois. Ryan Murphy, open look for a 3. He is the top 3-point shooter on this team, but lately just has not been knocking them down.
And even though he missed that, Coach Capel will be happy with that look. Man.
But Eugene German on the other end, no trouble jarring that one.
And again, hand in his face, step back from behind the college line. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat to the other team and say, hey, great play. Sometimes great offense beats great defense.
German 2 of 4 from beyond the arc right now. Leads all scores with 10 points. He's the first player into double figures on the night. Pitt, meantime, 0 for their last 7 from the field, and that finally comes to an end with authority from Terrell Brown.
Great bounce pass from Xavier Johnson right there. Terrell Brown did a great job, set the screen, rolled hard to the rim. Great job by Xavier Johnson to split in the defense, bounce pass, good catch and finish in traffic. That's the way to attack the rim strong.
So Brown checks out. A guy who's really improved his conditioning, his quickness over the course of the last couple of seasons. Can really run the floor now. Johnson finding Audis Tony. He gives it up, but Eric Hamilton had it blocked by Justin Lee. 3-on-2 for the Huskies. As Mayer Mateen just had it stripped, and he's the last to touch it as it goes out of bounds. So it goes back over to Pitt.
Nice job there by Ryan Murphy, holding his ground, got a hand on the ball without fouling, stripped it, went right off his leg. Good job there by the veteran player getting that play back for his team.
Approaching double-digit turnovers for Northern Illinois, but still they have the 4-point lead with 5 minutes to go here in the first half of play. Tony feeding Hamilton. It's always nice to get easy baskets like that when you're going through a scoring drought the way Pitt has here in this first half.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier than a dunk. There's no question about that, but just very impressed with Pitt early in this game, just not settling for jump shots. They know they're not a great three-point shooting team. They're getting the ball in the lane, and when they get in there, they're doing a great job of passing it and finding open guys for easy shots.
They get all over German. He has to distribute. 5 on the shot clock. Justin Lee scoping out the 3. And Northern Illinois, a team that can hit it from downtown. Now with their 5th three-point basket here in this opening half of play.
And Justin Lee, only his 2nd game of the season. That's his first made three-point field goal, so a much-needed added boost on the offensive end off of the bench.
Huskies 5 of 12 from downtown. Pitt 0 for 8 from beyond the arc. Hamilton takes a much shorter route to the basket that time. A grad student from Atlanta, transfer from Wichita State. Three and a half to go first half. 3-point game here in Pittsburgh. Lee going over the top of Auntie's Tony, recognized the mismatch, and Justin Lee back-to-back baskets for Northern Illinois.
Justin Lee, very, very impressive performance off the bench. See Northern Illinois here switching up a little bit, going a little 2-3 zone, trying to keep the ball out of the lane, force Pittsburgh to make some outside jump shots.
Hamilton underneath, double teamed, and then had it blocked.
Pittsburgh getting back in this game by getting the ball in the lane. Great job of dropping it off. Good finish by Eric Hamilton. We got a great one here at the Peterson Event Center.
Northern Illinois, and Justin Lee has 5 points off the bench for the Huskies in just his 2nd collegiate game. A sophomore from Lawrenceville, Georgia, redshirted last year, just made his debut at UC Davis back on December the 7th. Was just cleared medically recently because of a lingering knee injury. Also had a broken foot last year. So he has certainly had a long road to get to this point, but now at 6'8", they are very excited about the contribution he can make for this Husky program.
Well, not only has he given him a boost offensively, but he's been very active on the defense end. He's got a couple blocks already, a couple defensive rebounds, and very, very impressive performance. But it's funny, it never fails as a coaching staff if you're Pittsburgh. You don't have a whole lot on him on the scouting report simply because he hasn't played, and what does he do? He comes out and he gives his team a big boost. So I'm sure they'll make an adjustment and be a little bit more aware of him as the game goes on.
Almost lost the handle that time.
Low shot clock. I think we know where this one's going.
German.
Better get your hands up.
Against Trey McGowens. Got him on the fake, but short on the 3.
And that's what you have to do when you're guarding a guy like Eugene German. You know, you got to challenge it as much as humanly possible. And honestly, sometimes you just got to hope that he misses, because he's going to take some, he's going to make some, but you just got to hope that he misses. But good job there by Xavier Johnson going right back down and getting the lane, getting an easy one for Pitt. He
leads the Panthers in scoring with 9 points. But for Northern Illinois, they've had 10 fouls, 9 turnovers, but still leading by 3 here with just over 2 minutes left to go in the first half.
Well, the big difference so far has been the three-point line. You know, Northern Illinois 5 for 12 from 3, Pittsburgh 0 of 8 so far from the three-point line. So, you know, you're in a 15-0 hole right there essentially. But like we talked about, Pitt is not known as being a three-point shooting team, but look for them to turn up the pressure on the perimeter a little bit and make some of these easy catch and shoots for Northern Illinois a little bit tougher.
Shot clock once again in single digits for the Huskies here. We drop under 2 minutes to go in the half. Lacey James is going to be called for the offensive foul.
Great job there by Xavier Johnson, stepping over, standing his ground against the bigger guy and taking a charge. It was good move there by by Lacey to get around his initial defender, and great job there by Xavier Johnson getting his feet outside the restricted area and standing in there taking it.
Now James is going to be a focal point all season long for this Northern Illinois team. 6'9" redshirt senior from Grand Rapids, Michigan, transfer from Rider. Has played every game since coming to Northern Illinois. And a whistle away from the basketball here. This is another foul against the Huskies.
And not the guy you want to foul. Ryan Murphy, the best shooter on Pittsburgh's team, and sent him to the free throw line and essentially just giving him 2 points. And again, those are the fouls you want to try to stay away from. Fouls are part of the game, they're going to happen, but you don't want to foul a guy coming off of a flex cut on the baseline like that, away from the ball, and just give him a chance to make 2 free throws.
So the junior from Calabasas, California, who spent his freshman year at Charlotte before going to New Mexico Junior College for a year, and then eventually making his way here to Pitt. Now, Wednesday is National Signing Day, and the Huddle crew will break down all the ACC recruits with our Signing Day special at 5 p.m. Eastern here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Nobody covers the ACC like we do. Eugene German staring down the long 3, and German leading all players from beyond the arc here this evening. And now 13 points altogether on the night. Top scorer in the game.
Pretty easy to see why he's about to score 2,000 points in a career. Shooting shots like that. And you watch, and guys like this don't come along too often, and that's why I compared him to Russ Smith, who's obviously an All-American at Louisville. Just the way they play, can get by you extremely quick, can shoot it from where he's standing if he wanted to. And you look at it, you say that's not a great shot, but he has the ability to make it.
Under a minute to go first half. Shot clock at 7 here. This time drives, kicks. Sky had it blocked from behind. Terrell Brown, the leading shot blocker on Pitt, comes in.
And Eugene German, this is easily 3 or 4 feet behind the line. Trey McGowens has his hand up, and again, just not a whole lot you can do about that.
3 to shoot. As they try to inbound. That's not going to help. Zaire Mateen has to launch it from beyond half court, and a shot clock violation.
Yeah, Coach Montgomery not real happy with that possession right there. He had Eugene German coming off the screen, right to the corner, and with 3 seconds left on the shot clock, you certainly don't want to throw it back down towards the other end of the court.
Pitt shooting just 32% from the field here in this first half as the seconds wind down. And Trey McGowens trying to cut into that with the first triple of the game for the Panthers.
And that's a welcome sight. Like we talked about, they haven't shot the ball well from 3. And Trey McGowens stepped into that one confident, got his team right back in it. Now a 1-point game with a chance to take the lead going into halftime.
A strange ebb and flow to this first 20 minutes, and now down to the final 20 seconds. A 1-point lead for the Huskies here on the road. Shot clock off, and the Panthers playing for the last opportunity. And Xavier Johnson gets the screen, finds McGowens for the corner 3. Pops out, the rebound to the Huskies, and that takes us to the break. Eugene German leading all scorers. The only player in double figures with 13 points, and it's Northern Illinois with a 1-point lead on the road, linked by 1 as we get set for the start of the second half. Once again, Steve Schlanger alongside David Padgett. And David, a really interesting first 20 minutes. Kind of a roller coaster for both teams. A lot of interesting situations developing, but overall, what stuck out the most for you?
Well, Northern Illinois has taken great advantage of the ultimate neutralizer in basketball, and that's the 3-point line. They had 11 first-half turnovers, 12 team fouls, gave up 18 points in the paint, but the 3-point line neutralizes everything. They were 6 of 15 from the 3-point line, and it really is the reason why they have the lead here in the game. But both teams kind of just doing what they do. Pittsburgh getting in the lane, getting to the rim, not settling for the jump shots, and it'll be interesting in this half. Pittsburgh's going to have to do a better job of defending the 3-point line and continue to get the ball in the lane to score easy around the rim.
What damage Pittsburgh has done has largely come off turnovers and in the paint. Northern Illinois, meanwhile, with 11 turnovers, 12 fouls, but still nonetheless leading an ACC team on the road here. And also throw in the fact that they haven't had a foul shot throughout the game to this point. And the Huskies have to be relatively satisfied with the outcome to this point with 1/2 left to go. Eugene German leading the way, topping all players with 13 points, and it's McGowens and Johnson 9 apiece for the Panthers.
Well, in Northern Illinois, they've been in this moment before. They were on the road at Iowa State, one of the toughest places to play in college basketball earlier this year. Had the lead at halftime, ended up losing, but you know they've been here before. They're not gonna panic down the stretch. They're not gonna get nervous. They're just gonna continue to do what they do. Eugene German's gonna continue to look to score the ball, and I wouldn't expect either team to change a whole lot. Obviously, Northern Illinois is gonna want to take care of the ball better this half, but you know if they have open threes, they're gonna shoot them, and Pittsburgh is gonna continue to try to get to the rim.
First ever meeting between these two schools, although they did play a 20-minute scrimmage back in 1934 at the National Coaches Convention. So, David, I know you broke down the tape from that one to give a yardstick as to how this one might play out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't see a lot of film from that game. But, you know, this guy right here, it's impressive to watch in person. You know, watching him on film, getting ready. You obviously appreciate what he does, but he really can score in any way. He can obviously shoot from deep, get to the rim, and it's just impressive to watch. And Pittsburgh's really going to have to try to clamp him down here a little bit in the second half.
Pitt only 33% from the field in that first half. Need to boost that here in the second 20, and it's a good start with Eric Hamilton. After Pitt was extremely cold in the opening minutes of the first half of play. Hamilton had been averaging a double-double earlier this season. It's kind of slowed down recently. German not slowing down, although he got the miss, and McCarty the cleanup as Noah McCarty lays it back in to stretch the lead back to 3 for the Huskies.
And that's just a killer right there. You know, Eugene German makes a good move, gets to the rim, Pitt gets lucky and misses, and they give up an offensive rebound. Probably not the shot Coach Capel wanted right there.
McCarty the rebound off the McGowens miss. Eugene German takes aim at a 3. Has 3 triples already. Got his own rebound there. And McGowens swats that Lacey James pass out of bounds, but it stays with Northern Illinois. So what's the recipe for both teams here coming out of the locker room, headed towards this final half of play?
Well, when Northern Illinois didn't turn the ball over, they got a great look and made a lot of them. You know, shot almost 50% there in the first half, and look for them to obviously take care of the ball a little bit better. But you know, clearly here in the first half, might have gotten away with the backcourt right there. They're going to have to do a better job on the defensive backcourt.
Jurgis Dow underneath off the feed from McCarty. And Pitt's going to come away with numbers. McGowens floats it up high. Missed time, though, as Justin Champagny couldn't finish. Didn't really get it high enough for Champagny. And a clock issue forces the officials to stop play here.
Yeah, the shot clock didn't start there on that one. But, you know, if you're Pittsburgh, you like to see getting out on the break right there, trying to convert. Obviously, they couldn't on that trip. But if they're able to get the clean rebound on the first attempt, they've been able and had success getting out on the break. But the problem is they're just giving up too many offensive rebounds and just giving Northern Illinois too many chances and too many good looks at it.
Jeff Capel very animated on the bench. The second-year head coach.
And it looks like Coach Capel is what he's talking about right now. Is everybody's got to rebound the ball. It's got to be all 5 guys. You can't leak out. You can't look to get out in transition. Long shots equals long rebounds. And what I mean by that is, with the amount of 3-point shots Northern Illinois has taken, there's going to be a lot of long rebounds. So you can't run in there to the rim. The guards have to come back and rebound the basketball. Yeah, it looked like that clock never started. Didn't start either way.
No.
Didn't have much effect on that play, but
they recognized it pretty
clock
quickly.
in general didn't start either, I guess. So
yeah, stuck at 18-19, shot clock not moving. So trying to figure out exactly how much time to put back on the clock. Mike Eads, Terry Weimer, and Ron Tyberski, the 3-person crew here on this Monday night in Pittsburgh.
That's got to be the referee's fault, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, the head coaches, I'm sure, are pointing in the direction.
No, I'm kidding. These are some of the best officials in the country. Mike Eads has done numerous Final Fours, and you're always going to get high-level officials with the ACC.
A decent crowd here at the Peterson Event Center on this Monday night, even though the students are away on their holiday break. Back-to-back sports nights in Pittsburgh. Of course, the Steelers in action last night against the Buffalo Bills, and now the Panthers here against Northern Illinois this evening.
You know, I got a brief tour earlier today before shoot-arounds from one Jason Richards, a friend of mine on Pittsburgh staff, and it's amazing what they've done with this facility. Obviously, it's always been one of the tougher places to play in college basketball, but the improvements that they've made on around the facility with the locker rooms, the offices, just kind of everything, it's very, very impressive to see. And Jeff Capel deserves all the credit for that.
And he's really building something here. I mean, it is such a great sports town. The Steelers, of course, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Penguins, the Panthers don't own the town the way the Tar Heels might in Chapel Hill and the Blue Devils in Durham, but still, when you're in this sort of cultural environment of sports, everybody gets elevated, including the elevation of Lacey James for the dunk for Northern Illinois.
Yeah, breakdown there defensively by Pittsburgh. Just simple cross screen, good execution by Northern Illinois coming out of that little stoppage of play, and about the easiest two-point shot you're going to get all night against this Pittsburgh defense.
And Coach Mark Montgomery says he really needs to be one of their top secondary scorers behind German for this team to do what they want this season and to accomplish their offensive goals.
Well, and you know, Mark Montgomery, obviously a Tom Izzo guy, played at Michigan State, worked for Tom Izzo for 11 years, and their philosophies are very similar. You know, play hard-nosed, man-to-man defense, want to be able to throw the ball inside, and Lacey James is a guy, a big, strong, physical guy. Just miscommunication there by Pittsburgh on that cross screen, and just an easy two.
Transfer from Ryder, who actually graduated from Northern Illinois this past weekend, but missed his graduation because they were traveling here to Pittsburgh for this game tonight.
Congratulations to him on getting that degree. And again, kind of the story of the game so far for Pittsburgh. When they do get Northern Illinois to miss, they've just given them another opportunity. Now, they played 15, 20 seconds of good defense. Now they got to play 20 more.
But a turnover by the Huskies. Xavier Johnson for the trailing McGowens. And now showing a little more patience in the half court. One of the things head coach Jeff Capel stressed earlier today, the mental toughness of his team has to improve. McGowens burying the triple there. He's their leading scorer on the night. First Panther into double figures now with 12 points. And he said he's got a young team, and mentally they hit this block in the second half, and if things don't go their way, sometimes they crumble. They got to get better at that, stronger.
Yeah, and that's just a youth thing. You know, you start so many young players, sophomores, and not a whole lot of veteran experience on this team, and you're just trying to teach them how to win. And it's not an easy thing to do. You can't really force the process, and there's going to be a lot of road bumps throughout the process. You know, for example, perfect example earlier this year, they opened up the season at home against a great Florida State team who's now ranked in the top 25, come out, get a great two-point win, and didn't handle the success of that win very well, and came out and didn't play well against a Nicholls State team here at home and got beat. So it's been kind of one of those year-and-a-half roller coasters since Jeff Capel took over. But you know, he's certainly got this program moving in the right direction. There's no doubt about that. And where this program was when he took over, they didn't win a conference game for 2 years, and they were just really, really struggling. And where he has them now is very impressive to watch. He deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. Noah
McCarty missing on the three with the shot clock winding down, and a foul on the rebound.
And Trey McGowens, not a great outside shooting team, Pittsburgh this year, but Trey McGowens stepping into that one.
Two-point game here in Pittsburgh, but elsewhere around college basketball, who wants to be number one? Kansas, the 5th different number one team already this season. That's the most in the history of the AP poll before the new year. What do you make of that, David?
I have no idea. I think it's going to make for a very exciting March. There's no question about that. But to see the number one team in the country on December 16th already have one loss, that's very rare. You know, and to see so many teams obviously at the top, but it's going to be a very exciting year in college basketball. I think it's wide open. You know, you don't really have that one team that everybody says is head and shoulders above everybody else. And you see, you know, Evansville goes into Rupp Arena and wins. Stephen F. Austin goes into Cameron and wins. I mean, it's just going to be one of those years where each week there could be a new team at the number one spot.
A lot of different number one teams, but who is the best team right now in your mind?
Well, until about 6 o'clock last night, I would have said Ohio State, but then they go into the barn up in Minnesota and Richard Pitino with a big-time win. And, you know, I really don't know. And I don't know if there is one, to be honest. I think that's kind of the answer, is that there's not really just that team that everybody says is come first weekend in April, they're going to be in Atlanta at the Final Four. I think it really just is that open this year.
Crafty move by Lacey James with that last basket for Northern Illinois. Now the Big Ten leading the way with the most teams in the top 25, and then the ACC as well as the Big 12 following with 4 apiece.
Yeah, and the ACC obviously is going to have teams there down the stretch. You know, Louisville's obviously very stacked this year. And one team on there that isn't really listed name-wise, but I've seen play a few times. It's not getting a lot of recognition, maybe because of the West Coast. They don't get a chance to be seen a lot. But it's San Diego State, one of the 4 undefeated teams still remaining, and I know they're very, very good. But again, I really just don't think there's one team that everybody can say, okay, you can pencil them in for the Final Four.
Now Lacey James starting to heat up. Scored from the inside just a moment ago, now stepping out on the baseline here. And James with 8 points, second leading scorer on this Husky team for the evening. And the lead is 4 with 14 minutes now left to go. McGowens has the only 2 3-point baskets for Pitt. And this is on that last one. The Panthers just 2 of 13 from downtown. And it's an over and back. Now looking back at the unbeatens left in college basketball, you mentioned the Aztecs, along with Liberty, Auburn, and a team from just across town here in Pittsburgh, Duquesne.
Yeah, Auburn obviously playing in the SEC. Bruce Pearl coming off of Final Four has done a great job, but it just usually this time of year you see 7, 8 teams that are still undefeated because we haven't gotten into the heart of conference play yet. But just so much parity in college basketball, and it's as a fan it's awesome to watch just because each night in, night out, there's going to be nothing but great games. And like I said, come tournament time in March, I know it's a ways down the road, but it could be a really, really exciting NCAA tournament this year.
Xavier Johnson with Brown on the follow. It was stripped out of bounds and stays with the Panthers, but only 7 left on the shot clock.
And even though Terrell Brown couldn't finish it, that's what Pittsburgh has to do. You know, they're only shooting about 30% from the game so far, but until that one right there, they only had 6 offensive rebounds. They got to create extra possessions for themselves since their perimeter jump shots aren't falling.
Ryan Murphy just can't find a stroke here tonight, and it's out of bounds to Northern Illinois. Well, if you're a head coach, you're coming down here towards the end of the calendar year. Conference play is just a few weeks away. What do you want to see from your team at this particular point in the season?
Well, this is usually the time of the year when you want to improve. I'm not really sure why the clock went off right there. Oh, the clock didn't start again. But, you know, school's over. Finals are done. You got a couple weeks off. Obviously, the holiday coming up next week, but most teams won't get back into the swing of school until at least the 1st or 2nd week in January. So you got a lot of time to just focus on basketball, and it's a chance for your team to get better, kind of gel, work on things you need to work on, and really get ready for the most important part of the year, which is conference season. And you know, it can be they say the dog days of January. Sometimes as a player, especially, it can be the dog days of Christmas break, just because you don't really have anything else going on. So your whole life is consumed by practice. But it depends too. You know, some teams will get a chance to go home. I know Pittsburgh plays Friday here at home against a very good Binghamton team, and you know they have 10 days off, so players will get a chance to go home. But when you come back from Christmas, it's full bore getting ready for that gauntlet of an ACC schedule.
Well, let's go back and see the most recent clock issue. Had one at just about the 18-minute mark at the start of the second half, and now the clock failing to start once again, both game clock and shot clock. So they've worked it out. And here we go. The lead is 4, coming up on 13 minutes left to go. Huskies leading most of the way here tonight on the road. Eugene German with 5 on the shot clock. Head-to-head with McGowens. Takes aim at the 3, and he cans it. For Eugene German.
Wow. What else can you say?
He gives Northern Illinois their biggest lead of the night. with his 4th three-point basket of the game.
And the impressive thing is the amount of separation he creates from his defender in such a short period of time. You know, he's got that step back down, quick crossover. You see it right here, and just creates just enough separation and has a quick release, doesn't need a whole lot of time to get it up and in. And you know, when you got that confidence going, you've made a couple to start the game, that basket looks a lot bigger than it really is.
Senior from Gary, Indiana, all MAC, second team each of the last 2 years, but leading the MAC in scoring already this year. And could wind up leaving Northern Illinois as the school's all-time leading scorer before it's all said and done.
And it was funny today to watch it shoot around. Very impressed with Northern Illinois shoot around today. They were all business. They were serious, ready to go to work, as you would expect from a veteran team and a very well-coached team. But the leadership from Eugene German was very evident. He made sure guys were where they needed to be. You could tell his teammates enjoy playing with him. And you know, it's rare you see a 4-year player this day and age in college basketball, but I'm sure Mark Montgomery's really enjoyed coaching him the last 4 years, and he's glad he's got him on his team tonight, no doubt about that.
Yeah, the coaches say his work ethic is off the charts. Many times they will find him hoisting up shots at midnight, 1 a.m.
And it's paid off for him. No doubt about that.
Xavier Johnson trying to draw the foul, and he gets it. Darius Bean called here for the Huskies.
Yeah, and in that situation, you know, he left his feet, give Xavier Johnson credit for getting him up in the air, but you never want to foul a jump shooter, and you especially don't want to foul a jump shooter with 3 seconds left on the shot clock, put him to the line and give him a chance to easy two.
And our first free throw of this second half of play. Xavier Johnson connecting. Now 4 of 5 from the stripe tonight. For Johnson, a sophomore from Woodbridge, Virginia. Comes from a very athletic family. His father and other family members all played college basketball. A guy who originally committed to Nebraska before coming here to Pitt.
And Pittsburgh's got to look to create some more possessions off of their defense. You know, did a good job early in the game, like we talked about, of forcing turnovers, getting out on the break, and you know, just a quick, easy foul right there, and sending Northern Illinois to free throw line, which I believe are Northern Illinois' first 2 free throws tonight.
Yes, indeed. First time at the free throw line, coming with 12:15 left to go in the second half as Darius Bean knocks it down. Well, Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern, we'll have the Huddle Bowl preview special. Jack Hollingsworth, Eric McLean, E.J. Manuel, and Mark Rick will take a look at the ACC teams playing in a bowl game and look ahead at the college football playoff with team breakdowns and comprehensive analysis. And like everything else, it's also live on the ESPN app.
And Pittsburgh, on that possession especially, getting maybe a little impatient there. You know, you're down 6, 12 minutes left in the game, and you know, you got to take it one possession at a time. You don't want to come down and try to get the lead back in one trip. You know, you got to stay patient, going a little 2-3 zone here, try to mix it up, take them out of their rhythm.
German, the long miss on the 3. And a foul on the rebound.
Oh, when he comes over half court, you better be ready to defend him. And he's really carried his team. 18 early points tonight, 4 for 10 from the three-point line. But you know, just a big time all-around scorer and player for the Northern Illinois Huskies.
Leading all scorers on the game. But it is still a ball game. Only 6 points separating these 2 teams, despite some of the flaws that have been on display for each squad. Ryan Murphy with the miss for the Panthers, who are shooting under 32% from the field, while for Northern Illinois, it's been 15 fouls, 13 turnovers, and 18 baskets for the game. But yet, they've been leading most of the way and trying to take it all the way home for a road win against an ACC team here tonight in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh staying with that 2-3 zone, try to take Northern Illinois out of the rhythm. Good defensive possession right there. But they're going to have to put some points on the board if they want to get back in this one.
Under 11 minutes left to go. Tony feeding the low post. And a foul. And a free throw coming up for Abdul Karim Koulibaly, the freshman from Mali, seeing his first minutes tonight.
And a good job there by Pittsburgh, coming down, getting the ball inside, not coming down and trying to get back in the game by shooting a bunch of 3-point shots. Did a good job going inside, get to the free throw line, see if they can earn it from the stripe.
played for Africa in the FIBA Under-19 World Cup, where they won a silver medal. Went to prep school at Scotland campus, a team that was #1 in the nation, and he was their leading scorer and rebounder. Guy with good feet, can pass from the high post, good wingspan, also effective down on the blocks, but misses there.
Pittsburgh going a little full court pressure here to see if they can speed up the tempo, maybe create a couple turnovers. Almost had one right there.
To shoot. Hankerson into the corner. And the three rolls off the rim for Justin Lee.
Good pass. Good job there by Northern Illinois, getting back in transition, getting balanced.
Midway through the second half, and a foul on the Huskies here with 10:02 on the clock.
Fifth team foul here for Northern Illinois, so Pittsburgh got to stay aggressive to see if they can get him in the bonus here with over 10 minutes remaining, see if they can get back to the free throw line.
And for Trenton Hankerson, the sophomore from Michigan, that's his 4th personal, so he has to come out. And now fouls starting to become an issue for the Huskies. You have both Hankerson and Darius Bean each with 4. And Northern Illinois still with a tenuous 5-point lead. They've led for a long time, but never by a huge margin. 6 points has been their largest advantage here tonight. McGowens the miss, but another opportunity. Shot clock resetting to 20.
Well, and even though Pittsburgh's only down 5, it feels a little bit more than that just because they struggled to score so much in the half court. So you know, just got to stay patient. Plenty of time left in the game.
And an offensive foul away from the basketball. And that's on Koulibaly, his first personal. Neither team has really gone on any kind of an extended run here tonight offensively.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been the prettiest game as far as basketball goes. A lot of turnovers, you know, a couple good looks from 3, a couple easy dunks around the rim, but other than that, it certainly hasn't been pretty, and there's an example of it right there.
The German pass going out of bounds. Turnover number 14 on the game for the Huskies.
Crowd trying to get him back in this one. But like I said, plenty of time. No need to panic here. You got 9.5 minutes left in the game. Just got to chip away at it. Rely on your defense. Just take it one possession at a time offensively.
Xavier Johnson losing his footing underneath. Trying to extend this 5-point lead. McCarty with a good find underneath for the lead.
Well, one of the things you have to worry about with a younger team, too, is when you're struggling so badly to score, the ball's not going through the basket, it's going to affect your defense. It's very hard to learn how to play through not being able to score and having to rely on your defense. And unfortunately, Pittsburgh right now just can't seem to get anything going on the offensive end. And Northern Illinois on that last trip down got a great look right at the rim.
So hard not to think about what's not going right offensively, isn't it?
It is. And it's, again, like I said, with a younger team especially, you know, if you've got an older team who knows that they got to rely on their defense, that's one thing. That's a very welcome sight right there for the people in this building. But now you got to dig in and get some stops here if you're Pittsburgh. And if you're Northern Illinois, just keep executing your offense and doing what you've been doing.
Tyler Cochran coming back, missing from down low, and Koulibaly clears the glass for Pitt. Now Trey McGowens has all 3 triples for Pitt on the game. And that's going to be a foul on the Huskies here. With just over 8 minutes now left to go.
And Trey McGowens shooting the ball with confidence. Hasn't shot it well in the year, but coming off the bench tonight has given his team a little bit of a boost from the 3-point line. But again, just got to chip away at it one possession at a time. Next foul, Pittsburgh will be in the bonus going to the free throw line. But just got to continue to get good looks. That's the thing. You know, if you get good looks each time down, that's all you can ask for as a coach. But you just don't want to force it and come down and take bad shots.
Pitt 3 of 16 from beyond the arc, and all 3 belonging to McGowens, who leads his team in scoring with 15 points. And finally, Ryan Murphy getting going.
Right on cue. A guy who's struggled this year from the 3-point line. Is a very good 3-point shooter, just hasn't shot the ball well. I know that was only a 2, but be interesting to see what that does for his confidence here over the last 8 minutes of the game. Just seeing the ball go through the rim. It's amazing what that can do from time to time.
He's their second leading scorer, averaging 11 per game, but just has been ice cold tonight. Lacey James, but McCarty the offensive rebound.
Again, just absolute killers for Pitt. You get NIU to take a tough 17-foot jump shot. Lacey James from the corner. Not that he can't make it, but that's the shot you want. And you just give up another offensive rebound instead of having a chance to go down and score and cut this lead down a little bit more.
McCarty, the senior from Rock Falls, Illinois, one of 8 Illinois natives on this Northern Illinois team. Justin Champagny is going to be called for the travel.
So stepping out from 3. Feeling his rhythm, stepping into his shot, shooting the ball with confidence. Has really been the one source of offense here so far for Pittsburgh tonight.
Pittsburgh's highest rated recruit since Steven Adams back in 2012. And from such an athletic family, his father played football at Clemson before transferring to South Carolina State, where he is still the school's all-time leading receiver. And he also led the basketball team to the NCAA tournament on 2 occasions. McGowens' mom also played basketball at Western Carolina and is a high school coach at his former high school.
Pittsburgh coming out looking to extend their defense here, see if they can create a couple more easy transition opportunities. Staying with this 2-3 zone.
Do you like that?
It's been effective so far. It's kept Eugene German kind of a little quiet. It's getting guys to shoot the ball for Northern Illinois that Pittsburgh wants to shoot the ball, and that's no knock on them, but they would, if they had their choice, they would just want anybody except number 10 in black to shoot the ball, and it's been successful in that regard.
Shot clock at 7. Lacey James playing with 3 fouls, finds McCarty along the baseline.
Good, great finish there by Noah McCarty. Good pass by Eugene James. That's very impressive, being strong with the basketball. And NIU just a veteran team. Can't stress it enough. Staying patient, not getting rattled by Pittsburgh trying to make a little bit of a run.
Something that really stands out, Pitt has had 2 separate scoring droughts of over 6 minutes each. We're coming up on the final 6 minutes now. They trail by 6.
And that's what Coach Capel talked about today a lot at shoot-around. We had a chance to visit with him, was they just don't know who that scorer is yet. It could be Xavier Simpson one night, it could be Trey McGowens one night, it could be Ryan Murphy one night, but it's just almost by committee. And not that that's a bad thing, but you just never know where it's going to come from. And unfortunately, they just haven't been able to find that rhythm yet this year, where maybe 2 or 3 guys at the same time have been able to generate offense for them.
And German is going to be fouled by Murphy. That is the danger of Eugene German. He can hit that long, deep 3 from out by the logo. He's hit 4 triples tonight, or if you cheat out on him, he can blow right past you and drive to the rack.
Yeah, he can. He really can score at all 3 levels, mid-range, at the rim, from deep, and you're so focused on where he is when he's on the court that as soon as he catches you, you get up on him because you know he can shoot it, and then he's got the quickness to go by and get in the lane and get to the rim.
So the officials talking with a couple of players, settling things down here.
A little half-court trap here coming out of that zone. Good job of Northern Illinois handling it, not panic.
Zaire Mateen takes aim at the 3, gets his own rebound.
Another offensive rebound for the Huskies.
Trey McGowens dumping it off to Hamilton. He's fouled but can't convert. So a pair of free throws coming up.
And a good job there at Pittsburgh by pushing the pace, got a defensive rebound on the second try, and got down the lane before they had to go against the set Northern Illinois defense. And it created a good opportunity, good pass there by Trey McGowens, and Eric Hamilton going to the line, chance to cut this game to 2.
Pitt as a team collectively at 69% from the stripe here in this game, 9 of 13. Wednesday night, 2 of the top 10 teams in the nation will be in our college basketball doubleheader. Number 9 Virginia faces Stony Brook at 7 Eastern. Then it's number 3 Louisville hosting Miami of Ohio. Both games also here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Louisville trying to bounce back after the loss to Texas Tech in the Jimmy V Classic at Madison Square Garden last week, costing them the #1 ranking in the country.
And that's a good sign there for Pittsburgh. Eric Hamilton, only a 64% free throw shooter on the year, steps up, makes 2 big free throws, and right back into a 1-possession game. Crowd getting behind the Panthers a little bit.
2-point lead for the Huskies. Closing in on the final 5 here at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh.
I have a feeling this could be Eugene German time.
Here is German, long 3.
And a good job there by Pittsburgh of limiting the Huskies to 1 shot. See what they get coming down the other end.
Chance to tie or take the lead. Hamilton! And he missed it down low, but he did get the foul.
What a pass by Trey McGowens. As soon as he passed that, I thought there was no way that was going through. And a good catch by Eric Hamilton. I think even he was a little bit surprised that was coming. But great vision, good catch. I'm sure Eric Hamilton would like to have that back one at a chance, have that one back at a chance for a 3-point play. But a great pass by Trey McGowens.
So Hamilton now at the free throw line, where he's a perfect 2 of 2 on the night. Grad student who spent 2 years at Wichita State, native of Atlanta. Now look at what he's done from the first 5 games to the last 5 games.
Stepping up and knocking them down with confidence. And Pittsburgh here extending their defense again. More so than anything, not really trying to create turnovers. They'll take one, obviously, if they can, but what they're really trying to do here is buy some time in the backcourt. So when Northern Illinois gets that ball over the half-court line, they only have to play their half-court defense for about 17, 18 seconds by the time Northern Illinois gets set, gets into what they want to do. So really just looking to slow it down, create a little bit more time, take some time off that shot clock. Just now getting into their offense, you see there's only 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Zone's been very effective so far for Pitt tonight, taking Northern Illinois out of their rhythm.
Lacey James from the free throw line. Got it back. Shot clock resetting. Brendan Hankerson is their leading 3-point shooter, but very quiet from downtown tonight. Has not hit a 3-ball, and he's playing with 4 personal fouls. James with 5 to shoot. Finds German, 4-3.
Pitt dodged the bullet on that one, gave up an offensive rebound. Great pass by Lacey James. German just wasn't able to knock it down.
Under 4 to play, tie ball game.
Stepped out of bounds.
McGowens stepping on the end line with 3:47 left to go. Pitt clawing their way back into this game here at home. In our game summary, Pitt with 17 points off 14 Northern Illinois turnovers. We are tied at 50 with under 4 left to play. David, some wild swings throughout the course of this game. Neither team has been at their best, but all that matters now is what happens in the final 3:47. What is going to make the difference down the stretch?
Well, turnovers and rebounds. Whichever team can take care of the ball and handle the backboard. You know, to me, the turning point in this second half here for Pittsburgh has been their 2-3 zone. It's been very, very effective. And normally when you're playing against a team with a player of Eugene German's caliber, as far as how he shoots the ball, you wouldn't think to play a zone, but it's done a good job of getting Northern Illinois to stand a little bit. Pitt's doing a very good job of making guys besides German take shots. And not that they're not capable. I mean, they're college Division I basketball players, but they've done a good job of forcing other guys besides German to try to beat them. Huskies
0 for their last 5 from the field. Pitt in the middle of a 6-0 run. 8 to shoot. Darius Bean playing with 4 personal fouls. The rebound to James underneath. Headed blocked by Hamilton.
That ball went through the basket from the underneath side. You don't see that very often. Good job there by Mike Eads. I think they're going to check it, but pretty sure that ball got deflected and went up and through the hoop.
Now the officials talking about it, and they will head to the scorer's table now. Yep.
Don't see that very often, but again, another offensive rebound for the Huskies. Good job there by Hamilton to get a deflection on the ball, block shot. Jeff Capel's asking for a jump ball, which they're saying it's a violation on Pittsburgh because they were the team that hit it up and through the basket, which I believe is the correct call. You just don't see that very often.
Northern Illinois with 15 on the shot clock here.
Extending that 2-3 zone, getting out to the shooters.
3 minutes to go. 5 to shoot. Corner three. Well off the mark.
I believe it was blocked.
Partially tipped, though.
I believe so. Oh, wow, maybe not.
They're going to call Pitt basketball.
Which, we'll take another look at it, but I'm not sure how that wasn't deflected. Hankerson is too good of a shooter, I think, to miss it that badly. And that hit on the backside of the backboard.
You never see that. You never see
You
that.
have to think that was deflected.
Now, regardless, the Huskies now 0 for their last 8 from the field. Pitt, a chance for their first lead since almost 10 minutes left to go in the first half.
With bounce pass.
And there it is. Justin Champagnie. And a timeout taken by Northern Illinois. First lead since the 9:53 mark of the first half for the Panthers. Champagnie with the finish, and they're up by 2. This could be a pivotal moment in this game. The Trendon Hankerson three-point attempt. Justin Champagnie may have gotten a piece of that, and then on the other end, Champagnie got all of this.
You know,
a swing of momentum.
Live. Yeah, we saw the replays during the timeout. Seeing it live and then even watching the replays, we kind of thought it had to be deflected, but it was just hard to tell right there. Nonetheless, Pittsburgh doing a good job, came back down. They've got full momentum here in the last 2.5 minutes of this game.
Panthers on an 8-0 run. Leading by 2 with 2.5 left to play here at home.
And Northern Illinois has got to get some more movement going on offense. Good job there getting the ball inside against this 2-3 zone. And even though he missed it, that's a good look. But getting a little stagnant here over the last 6-7 minutes of the game. To give credit to Coach Capel and his team for going that 2-3 zone. It's really changed the outcome so far.
Mark Montgomery said one of the promising features of his Husky team this year, they have been closing out games better than they have in past seasons. But this would be a tough one if they let it get away. And they let that get away, and another opportunity for the Panthers on offense. Under 2 to play with a 2-point lead.
Be curious to see here where they go. We talked about this with not really having that kind of go-to guy. Xavier Johnson sitting over there on the bench. Great bounce pass by Ryan Murphy.
Now they found Justin Champagnie, the freshman from Brooklyn, New York. He's got the last 2 baskets for Pittsburgh, and with a 1.5 minutes left to go, the lead is now 4. Crowd wanted a traveling violation, but they get the turnover nonetheless.
And Pittsburgh doing an unbelievable job, not only of getting the ball in the lane, getting paint touches, but when they get in there, they're throwing a bounce pass. And this might seem like a little thing, but as a defender, your natural reaction when somebody's driving at you and they're going to pass the ball is to put your hands up. Very rarely do you put your hands down. So a great job there by Pittsburgh of dropping off these bounce passes and going up and finishing strong. 15
turnovers now for the Huskies, who led for most of this game, but now find themselves trailing by 4 coming up on the final minute of regulation. Only the 3rd time they've ever played an ACC team. And now having to come from behind on the road.
If you're Northern Illinois here, just make sure you don't give up an offensive rebound. You don't want to foul, and you don't want to give up an offensive rebound.
Shot clock at 3, and that is a huge basket by Trey McGowens.
Wow.
His 4th triple of the game could be the dagger. A 7-point lead now for the Panthers here at home. 7 points on the board for Pittsburgh, the last 3 courtesy of their hottest 3-point shooter on the night, Trey McGowens.
And Trey McGowens coming in, having only made 8 3-pointers on the year total, has 4 tonight, and has just come off the bench and give his team the absolute spark they needed to have a chance to win this basketball game. And you know, the amazing thing is Xavier Johnson's sitting over there on the bench, and obviously good celebration there by Eric Hamilton, almost tackling his teammate. But Trey McGowens giving his team the boost they needed on the offensive end when they desperately needed it most.
He broke his nose the first week of practice, but he has been sniffing it out from beyond the arc here tonight. Pittsburgh on a 13-0 run, while the Huskies have gone cold from the field, missing each of their last 9.
And if you're Northern Illinois here, you stay patient. You got plenty of time. You want to get a good shot. It doesn't necessarily have to be a three, but you got to go quick now. 3-possession game. You can't waste a whole lot of time. And
Huskies do have experience on this roster. Can they use it here? Ankerson again, way off the mark from the corner three, and then the alley-oop for Justin Champagnie.
Great catch and finish there by Justin Champagnie. And that's one of those plays where if he finishes it, that's a great play. But if he misses that, Coach Capel scratching his head saying, what do you do when the clock is on our side? But ended up working out well for him.
Biggest highlight reel play of the night.
Good job by Ryan Murphy of throwing it up and letting his guy finish, but a great catch and finish. And started with the defensive rebound on the other end. Northern Illinois got a good look in the corner, just wasn't able to convert. And a good give and go there on the break. You know, probably not ideal in that situation with time to score, but hey, it worked out in their favor, so give them credit.
Champagnie only has 8 points on the night, but all of them coming here late in the second half. Down low in the paint, around the rim. He's been a difference maker. And now this is the Panthers' largest lead of the game with 34 seconds left to go, 59-50. Champagnie, the freshman from Brooklyn, whose twin brother is a freshman for St. John's. Leading free throw shooter and rebounder on this team, averaging 10 per game. And his 8 points so far tonight may wind up being the difference.
And you just don't, if you're Pittsburgh, you don't want to foul here. Obviously, NIU's clock's not on their side. They got to look to get a three. Again, that's just not a good foul. Stops the clock, even though they're not in the bonus yet, so they got to take it out of bounds. But you just want to be smart here. Play solid defense. You know NIU's going to come with some full court pressure here if they're able to convert. But if Pitt's able to hold on to this game and get this win, what it looks like they're going to do, this is a good step in the right direction for Coach Capel, what he was talking about, what we were talking about earlier, as far as closing out games. You know, they struggled with that last year, late second half of a lot of games. And, you know, even though they weren't playing well, they weren't scoring and didn't have any momentum on their side, they didn't get rattled. They stayed with it, made big plays when they needed to. The 2-3 zone was the turning point in the game for Pittsburgh, and they're going to come out of here with a good win coming off a long layoff.
The Huskies led for most of this game, but then they wind up going the final 6.5 minutes without a point, while Pittsburgh goes on their biggest run late for a 9-point win here at the Peterson Event Center. They put 2 players in double figures. Trey McGowens leading the way with 18, including 4 of 8 from beyond the arc.
And if you're Northern Illinois, you know, even though you had a chance to win this game and played well enough to win it, you can't get discouraged. You're on the road against an ACC team. I still think they have a very, very good chance. They were picked second in their division this year of the MAC conference, and they have a chance to have a very, very good year. A lot of older players. Eugene German can score with the best of them. So even though this one's going to sting because they knew they had a chance to win the game, I think that the rest of the outlook for the season for them is very, very bright.
Now a 15-0 run for Pitt to end the game. And Trey McGowens, leading scorer for the Panthers on the night, doing it inside as well as outside.
And confidence is a big thing, too. You see the first couple shots go in the basket, and all of a sudden that basket looks a lot bigger for you. And Trey McGowens coming in, giving his team a huge boost off the bench and really